think it would be a good idea to have the brains behind Trichofort tell us about the product, tell us what he was thinking, how did he come up with this, how did he even think to come up with this product. And so without further ado, I have super awesome, talented, well-read, well-researched, super experienced Africa's top trichologist, Muli Musyoka. It's true.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
true.
know.
Don't be humble.
No, it is funny when you get such an introduction. Anyway, yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Asante for making time.
Thank
I'm
you
most grateful. And I can't wait to sink our teeth into this conversation to see what that head of yours was thinking when you created this brand.
And for me, it's very exciting to see that we brought Trichofort back after COVID. Of course, COVID really hit businesses, and Trichofort suffered that because we produce in Chicago and then bring in the product. Yeah, and it's amazing to see the growth that is coming and to see the response that people are giving us from consumers. We have people buying the product and shipping it to their relatives and friends in the UK and other parts of the world. We have people using it in South Africa. We have leading salons here now using a lot of our product. And the future can only be bright. And we have people like yourself, I mean, very happy with the product, and we can see the results on the hair. I think huyo ndo msema kweli.
Kabisa.
Yeah.
The marketing can be all pump and glare, but at the end of the day, the proof is always in the pudding. Of course, your journey has, I know Muli personally and also professionally. And we got to meet a while back in 2017 was
2013, then 2014, and
before when you wanted
2012, yeah, when I wanted to use your hair.
Exactly. So that's when we first got to interact.
And you went MIA.
And you were in such a different place in your career.
Correct.
And then finally, when we reconnected back in 2016, 2017, Hair Hub Trichology Center had been born. You are really already restoring lives, which I like to call it, but really restoring hair. And now a product. How did you get to a place where you've stopped working in the salons? You've now opened a hair clinic. Now you're talking about having your own range of hair care, over and above the fact that the clinic, I know, takes a lot of your time, a lot of your energy to make it what it is now, because it's quite successful.
Actually, there's a part that you skipped, which I think is the one that gave me the ideas to come up with a product. And yes, I trained in hair, worked in salons for a period of time, then transitioned to work for a company that does or used to do a lot of product hair care brands and skincare brands. And very professional brands, top brands, because most of them were licensed brands from the US, UK, and these were top brands. I was quite lucky in 2007 towards the mid to the end to start working with that organization. And I worked with top brands, so I was quite involved with testing the products and understanding hair first, and then the product, and then how they interact. And then I got a chance to study marketing in depth and product development as well. And I stayed very close to chemists because when I'm looking at the product, I would go to the lab and I worked with this guy called Alex. I still do some work with him to date. He's a very smart chemist and he wants to understand how products work on the skin, on hair. And I wanted to understand how, when he's developing the product, what is he looking at? So we had this synergy that really worked well for the benefit of us both in the organization. Of course, there are milliards, and there is a conglomeration of products in the market that claim to do a lot of things for hair. But when you analyze them, you realize that most of the products simply talk about, they talk about different things, but they do the same thing. And no offense to any brands. Because I work with some premium brands and I'm a meticulous person. I like paying attention to detail, and I like saying what I mean and meaning what I say. Confirm. So I said I would want to come up with a product, and I started developing. A guy behind the cameras called Meshach will tell you that we started working on these products idea in 2013. But then because I was committed somewhere else and I was focusing on doing what I was employed to do, but I kept this idea in my mind. when I started Hair Hub back in 2014, of course, I saw many people and they were asking me, what is the best product I can use? Because I realized most of the product we had in the market, in fact, a lot of products that have shampoos that claim to be sulfate free, take them to the lab, work them backwards, they're full of salts, you know? So I think it's just claims that people put, but I wanted a product that delivers what it says it does, and what is in the label, it's actually in the components that make that product. I spent some time with some friends in Chicago and we worked on a formula. I was happy with it. I remember I had an afro, so I was testing the samples in the hotel in shower.
Formulator and model.
And then after I was happy, now I would take the samples. I did the testing in the US and here in Kenya because of the difference in hair type, because of climate, diet, and all those other things. So that's how I came up with the product. And the first launch was we really never launched it because I wanted to see what people felt about the product, how they responded to the product. And the first consignment came here in 2018 and it ran out in end of 2019 because we had brought quite a sizable amount of the product. We decided not to market at all. I wanted to see if people will buy and come back for it and tell other people. And it worked very well. Then 2020, COVID hit when we were already in the process of bringing our second consignment. And that's how it hit. We went out of stock for the whole of 2020. And then 2021, we brought in the product now. And now we have a constant supply of Trichofort. And we are excited about it.
What I like about what you've mentioned is, number one, business is challenging.
Correct.
To get to the point where this product is right here and we are talking about it on camera.
It's no joke.
It's been quite a journey. And we've all heard what Muli has been trying to illustrate to us. So if you're out there trying to figure out what to do and you want to put out a product of any sorts, just wear your seatbelt. It's going to be quite a journey, but it is possible.
Very possible.
It is possible.
It's good to start. It's okay to start small, thinking big.
Exactly. And number two, I'm enjoying that you also Waswahili watasema ulijituma to go ahead and learn about formulation.
I sent myself.
To go ahead and learn about formulation and also study marketing to figure out, okay, whatever it is that you're formulating, how do you get it to be in people's bathrooms, people's salons, beauty supply stores.
And gapology. In marketing, there's something they call gap.
What now?
Gapology, as in gap. GAP.
Okay.
And ology. How do you identify the gap? And I say this because I've seen a lot of my friends who are either stylists or own salons just develop a product and then they look for people to buy the product. It should be the other way around. You should look at where is the gap, what is the need, and what are people looking for. Then you go back and develop a product that will answer or will liken to those needs.
So I like what you said there. So what is the gap that you identified and what solution are you offering? Basically, I'm asking you, how is this here product, Trichofort, different from what was there before? How does it set itself apart from all the other products?
One is that when I started thinking about putting together a product, I looked at the region that we live in, and which is the Equatorial region. I'm quite lucky to have traveled quite a lot in salons in East and Central Africa. I would say in the last 12 years or so. I've been in the hair industry for 15 years. I started when I was very young, so I'm still young. So
I'm glad you said that because I was about to make a joke.
I know you joke. So the idea was when I traveled along East Africa and Central Africa, I could see the challenges that we were having. A lot of hair breakage, very dry scalps. And when people got dry scalp, they would buy things with sulfur to try and,
Sulfur 8.
Yes, and then they end up even worsening the situation. And most of the challenges that are there, we are facing, or our women and men are facing today and in the previous years, was because they were using the wrong shampoo. And I realized that the shampoo is the most underrated service in the salon. And people will tell you this has been approved by KEBS and all that. But the challenge is that KEBS will approve the bare minimum. There's something we call global formulations. For something to be called a shampoo, it must meet a certain minimal standards for it to say, yeah, this is fit to be used by human beings. Yes. But then they don't look at what is the ideal pH level of the scalp. What do salts do to the scalp? What about someone who is losing hair and they have a sensitive scalp? What about someone who has folliculitis? They've been shaving in the barber shop and they get ingrowns and they scratch and introduce a bacteria and it starts affecting the scalp. When I use a salty shampoo, what will it do? How does that bare minimum shampoo do to the hair? How does it leave the hair looking like? How does it strip or restore the hair strand? And those are some of the things that I saw. People are losing hair to breakage because the hair was weak. Most of the people, their hair would lose or tan, T-A-N, like it would lose its natural color, start turning brown. You could tell the scalp and the hair was very dry. You go to the salon, you do an expensive color, but then you use a shampoo that strips off everything. So I wanted to come up with a product. My number one need that I saw was to come up with a product that moisturizes the scalp, moisturizes the hair. Because if you leave the hair dry, it becomes brittle, it becomes fragile, it breaks off.
What is so interesting to me about what you've said is that we are, of course, there are very many companies right now, international and local, and we have our government trying to take care of us, the citizens, to ensure that we're getting what it is that we're paying for. Yep. But what I've had you highlight there is that we need to also be a little bit aware, because sometimes, yes, the product has been given the go-ahead by KEBS to be consumed by us, meaning it's not going to poison us, but at the end of the day, is it going to support the cause? Meaning, I'm washing my hair, I'm treating my hair, I'm moisturizing my hair, but are those products actually doing that job, or are they just not poisonous? You see, those are two different angles there. And now that we're talking about that, and the quality behind products, tell us about your shampoo. When I grab a shampoo bottle from Super Duper or from Super Cosmetics, or I'm at my favorite salon and they have it there, what should I expect when using this shampoo?
Of course, KEBS looks at it this way. Not everybody is able to achieve the best of the best.
Or buy
the best of the best. But I think what they look at is flying business class. But then what they care about is, do you get there? You want to fly business class where you can slide your seat and sleep and don't suffer jet lag. And then someone else is really squeeze their legs in economy and all that. But both of you land and arrive where you're going. I think for me, I've decided to fly my customers on business class. And the reason why I'm saying that is the purpose of a shampoo is to prepare your hair for other services. That is, if you go to a hairdressing school, that is what they will teach you. Shampoo is preparing the hair for other services. And where we've come from, we used to do such poor shampoos that it was a must that after shampooing, you use a surface conditioner, that thing that would smoothen, because the shampoo opens the cuticles, leaves the hair feeling rough and all that. But now we know better. We know that a shampoo can actually condition the hair at the same time you're cleansing the hair.
To your point, sorry for interrupting, I remember the shampoos and conditioners were even being sold as a package deal.
Correct.
You remember back in the day?
Yeah. You buy a 5-liter conditioner.
And even the little small ones, you can see like a shampoo and conditioner placed together. Sometimes they even wrapped together, and you buy them as two.
Correct.
So I get what you mean, because there was a need to always condition your hair immediately after shampoo process.
For me, I think things have now changed. When you're shampooing hair, yes, granted, you're looking at cleaning the scalp, cleaning the hair, but you do not want to scrap off your natural oils completely. You have sebum, which mixes with something we call sweat to create something we call mantral acid. That is very important, because then it protects your scalp from bacterial infection. Now, if you use a harsh shampoo, then you're stripping off everything from the scalp. It starts getting dry, flaky, itchy, sensitive. And that is what I wanted to sort out. Number one, I saw a lot of shampoos claiming to be sulfate free, and when you look at them, they've used some salts. Yeah, some have tried and used salts that belong to baby products, but they're still sulfates. But what we did with our shampoo is we looked at a natural cleanser from coconut called the olefin sulfonate, and when you look at it, it really allows us to have conditioners in the shampoo, but at the same time it will do the work of cleaning the hair. But one thing about our shampoo is that it really defines the curl. You can use it on natural hair, you can use it on relaxed hair, you can use it on weaves, you can wash your weaves with it, you can use it on locks, you can use it on sister locks. Yeah, so the thing is, you use very little, it leaves your scalp in good condition, it leaves your hair in good condition. If your hair is natural, it actually helps in detangling and leaving the hair, as long as you do not wash it in circular motions. When you're shampooing hair, you only need to focus on the scalp and keep the hair open. Like, you don't take it in circular motions. If you're doing it in the shower, if you're doing it in the salon, just make sure that you work on the scalp. The rest of the hair rinses off, because the shampoo has the capability to attract dirt, grease, and oils, as the other part of the shampoo is really pulled by water, because it works through, if you look at the chemistry of a shampoo, is pull and push. So that is what happens. So if you're looking at a shampoo that will be kind to your scalp, that will be kind to your hair, you use very little, but it gives you sufficient lather and enough conditioning, leaves the hair feeling pretty good. And then after that, all you need is just to do a deep penetrating treatment.
I completely agree. I have not changed my shampoo since 2018. I've used the same shampoo, and what you're saying is true. It's kind to my scalp. It's very kind to my hair, meaning after I finish washing, it feels still nice, silky, and soft and luxurious. It doesn't have that dry sisal-like feeling or squeaky clean when I touch it, which is really enjoyable, especially when I'm going to the next step, because my hair is not hard to manage because of the moisturizing effect that the shampoo has.